Hello and welcome to this week's video where I need to get much smarter about my storage. We are in my office / craft room / glorified storage space. However, I want this room in the future to become part of my kitchen. I am also a chronic hobby hoarder. When I want to try something new, I go all in. This year, it's beekeeping, but you'll notice as we go through all of the storage and the things in this space, you will find art supplies, lots of tools, woodworking tools, sewing machines, craft machines, photography equipment, paint supplies, sandpaper, you name it. I have it in this space. Most people would probably keep what I have in this room in a garage or a shed. For anybody who is new to my channel, I am in Ireland. Our homes don't come with garages as kind of standard. Normally the house on the corner might have a garage where I am from anyway. We also don't have basements, very rare to find one of them here. And I have a tiny shed that already is a home for my gardening tools. This room many years ago was originally a bedroom. It fits a double bed. It's a nice space. A couple of years ago I actually had this room rented out as a bedroom. But as I collected more and more hobbies, I decided to move into this room as my kind of office space. I would be lying if I said on days where I work from home that I work from this space, because it has become too messy, overwhelming and cluttered for me to even sit in it to try and do some work. This year, I had my second book come out in May, which was amazing. However, that period of a couple of weeks around about that time, the month of May and into June, was pretty intense. I didn't have my usual working hours. I had a lot of projects on, and this space pretty much became storage space. But I need to get it back in order, and I need to go through all of my equipment and pass on what I don't need, decide what skills I'm going to keep in my creativity toolbox. First thing I'm going to do is I have a piece of furniture in this room that I am going to get rid of. I have this IKEA Alex unit that is broken on the inside. I spend more time fixing it, and when I open the drawers, stuff gets stuck because the inserts in the drawers keep dislodging. I also find I'm just dumping stuff in it, so out of sight, out of mind. So it's time to go. This is a small room. I know sometimes on camera things can look bigger, but my room, how big is it? You would fit a double bed, but you wouldn't fit any other pieces of furniture if there was a double bed in here. So I want to free up some floor space because I feel a bit suffocated in this room. It's definitely one piece of furniture too many. So Operation Organize all of my stuff is part of a bigger project. Some of you might remember last October, November, I had a video where I got a storage nook upstairs. So for anyone who's new, I have a smaller home. I don't have an abundance of storage, so I have to be really smart. So I live in a cottage style bungalow, and I had some hidden space behind a knee wall. So I got that opened up. That gave me space to store all of the bigger stuff. So like boxes of fabric, kind of material stuff. I have scrap pieces of wood and some of the bigger kind of stuff. So I got that done so that I would have somewhere to store that kind of stuff. So now I'm trying to get smarter with the likes of my craft machines. I'm trying to get as little on display in this room as possible, because I would like to get the ball rolling, even if it's just getting quotes from builders for turning this into my kitchen. So my kitchen is next door. I have a wall in between. It's not a structural wall. However, there is plumbing and heating and electricity on the wall. So I have got ambitions for this space. I don't want to have an extension on my house because I am happy with a small house and I don't want to eat into the garden, but I would like one room where it's a bit more open plan. This is one of the reasons why certain IKEA items, they just don't stand the test of time. So even when I'm hacking them, so I got this secondhand, so I'm not sure how old it was when I got it, but I noticed that every single drawer, sorry about the white balance, can you see? I don't know if you can see all of the bases to the drawers. have buckled and slotted out, which sometimes means when you're closing it in, it will get stuck. Things also fall in here as well, so when I take the drawers out, there's probably stuff behind it, and every single one of them, like there's a crack in the back of that one, and there's not one of them. Oh, this one isn't too bad. Actually, I take my words back. Hang on, Bon is about to jump in. So sometimes when this was a lovely IKEA hack from years ago, but it has served me well. But the annoying thing is it's not actually great for storing some of your craft supplies. I know some people use this for like makeup and stuff, but I find it's really annoying the way the drawers just keep breaking. I'd rather buy a lovely solid wood second-hand item. But I did get this for free, and yeah, I might be able to salvage some of the bits. I did get this IKEA item for free. Sorry about the blurriness. My camera, the white it won't focus on the white. So let's focus on Buggy, because she's black and she won't throw off the white balance the way poor Bon does. But yeah, I got this for free, and it was a really old IKEA hack from years ago that I did. And the drawer fronts, dead on. I wanted to make it look like an apothecary unit, is that the word? But while the fronts lasted and they haven't come off or broke, all of these I put little drawer fronts on them, on the originals. Sadly, the insides and the unit itself has not lasted. Before I bring this off to the recycle centre, I am going to take those handles off, and proud of me for not gluing them on. I used tiny screws on them, so past me, thank you, because they were very easy to remove. And I'm going to pop them into my stash, my crafty stash, because I will use them for something else. They're really well made. I think I may have got them off Amazon, I'm not sure. But this video of this project is a good couple of years ago. I think it might have been a 2019 project. Anyway, it's in the archives. If you find that video, let me know. I do hate when you get to that part of when you're organising the room where you make it worse before it gets better. So all of the stuff that's on the floor needs to go get a home. In this room is a handy wardrobe. It is built in to a nook that is here. I have my boiler is in here, so that takes up a bit of space. When this house was built, they had built this in mind for a bedroom, so they put in the wardrobe. There's a couple of plugs and spaces you would expect to have plugs if it was wired up for a bedroom. So this double wardrobe is now a handy storage nook. So I'm just going to get a bit smarter and tidy up my power tools. I did put some shelves in this about 2 years ago. So this is great for storing my tools. And I feel like when this room gets turned into a kitchen, that will still be a handy little nook. Granted, I'll probably change up the doors and stuff, but it doesn't offend me having my power tools in the kitchen. My house is not normal, so I'm not going to have your usual stuff in random drawers. My storage needs are going to be different. I was hanging on to some scrap pieces, so I had to go through my scrap wood stash and be like, okay, realistically, what am I going to use? I have this really bad habit of hanging on to the tiniest piece of scrap where I don't have the luxury of hanging on to things. I was actually saying, I think at the start of the year, or I would love to have like a studio space, but realistically I do try and keep costs down as a small business, especially when things aren't great. It's nice not having the overhead of a rented space hanging over me. So I just have to be more disciplined, and that's okay. By clearing out all of the clutter that I had been hanging on to and that was at the bottom, that now frees up space for me to put in extra shelves. This is really handy for popping in my sewing machines. I also have some Cricut machines and some photography equipment. There is always a tripod with a camera hanging around in the kitchen or in here, so it's nice to be able to tuck them away as well. I'm absolutely sweating trying to organise this space, but I've just found my crowbar, and as you can see, you wouldn't expect me to use a crowbar for much, but actually I love my crowbar. And I remember one day I went into, I think I was in Woody's, and I just went in because I needed a crowbar. I cannot remember what I was for. I think I was breaking up pallets, but you can get a special tool for that. They didn't have it. But I think I needed this for something in the garden. I know I was ripping something. Or was I taking a tile off? Anyway, but I just remember walking in, and it was a couple of years ago. I was working in my day job and I had a lovely dress on, and I just went in and bought a crowbar. I just remember whoever served me was like, okay, is she going to go out and break up a car? What is this one doing with her crowbar in her floral dress? But yeah, what is your favourite tool in your toolkit? I think my most used tool is the drill, and my saw, my mini hand, like circular saw. Where is it? The one that's in there. But my favourite is the crowbar, because you can do a lot of destruction with this. Like, if you saw me wielding my crowbar, you would run, wouldn't you? Anyway, I'm going to put my crowbar in a special place. Anyway, I'm getting delirious with the tiredness. I'm going to put my crowbar away, and I freed up some space, but the floor is still a mess. And now I think I've gone through all the things for recycle, so now I need to go through the stuff that's for like donate that I can bring to the charity shop. I'm after finding some teacups that I was hanging on to for like teacup crafts, but to be honest, I don't have the luxury of space to be like, I'm gonna hang on to that till I never know. I need to pass things on. So yeah, I need to stop waffling and get on with it and put my crowbar away. Also, I was saying about the IKEA Alex unit being like really flimsy on the inside. These drawers are the same, but hang on, I'm wearing like my makeup headband as a headband. These drawers here, is this Kallax? But this is a Hemnes bottom, and it's much more sturdier because it's real wooden pieces. Whereas these, I don't think I'd buy a Kallax again. I find it's like grand for a while, but the same thing with Alex. The bottoms, it's like no matter how much you properly tighten up these like things, they're just quite flimsy or something. They don't really stand, like if you're I'm always using them like in and out trying to get a tool or whatever, and a lot of people buy these because they're budget and they'll use them for the likes of, you know, their makeup storage, or they'll use them in craft rooms or even garages or whatever. But I personally, I just don't think they're sturdy enough, and I hate when the arse falls out at the bottom and I have to take the thing apart, find the little key and then stick it back together. So I would rather buy, I don't know, not a chest of drawers, but like a proper solid wood drawer where you know the arse isn't going to fall out of it. So yeah, but listen, it's still going, and she'll go for a bit longer. Recently, I was asked if I was working on book number 3, and as of right now, I can happily say absolutely not. And let me explain to you why. Back in 2021, I had my very first book come out. And when your book comes out, there is, I suppose, lots of promo work, you're doing interviews and you're chatting to people. Also, if you're lucky, you're doing interviews and stuff, because obviously books is such a competitive market, and not every new release or author is going to have that luxury of getting loads of interviews. So I am so grateful when someone wants to do one with me. So while I was doing that during the summer, it came out of May 2021, I was starting to think of book number 2. Now, just for, I suppose, anyone who's interested, I don't have like a 3-book deal or anything like that. Sometimes authors will do that, where their book deal, they'll sign for multiple books, and I am so glad that I didn't do that. because the book Creative Burnout has been real this year. So in 2021, I kind of pretty much went straight into chatting about book number 2, and I went, if anyone was following me back then, I went and I did the Camino. I walked from Sarria to Santiago, and I think that was in the early October, late September. I can't remember the exact time. I do have a video on it. And then I pretty much went into book number 2 mode, and I started doing the projects for the second book that came out. So I didn't have a chance to pause. And also, I also do books alongside other work. I'm not like a full-time author at all. I wouldn't even say I'm a part-time one. However, I put in full-time hours, but I don't get like a big wage from doing books. So this is the first time where I've had some space where I'm not working on anything extra. I'm not going above and beyond with anything at the minute. And it's great because I feel like with creativity, it's like a muscle. If you work too hard in the gym with it, it's going to get sore. It could even get injured. And I feel like with creativity as well, I think if you keep going at a certain pace, you have to pause and you have to rest at some stage. And I feel like that's where I'm at. And the great thing is, even by doing little things like organising your space and decluttering, while it might not seem like work, I am actually getting ideas because I don't have that stress of having something constantly hanging over me. While it's fun and while it is a pinch me to be working on books, even though things, are good opportunities, they can still add stress. So I am loving the space, the mental space, I suppose, that I have now. I remember even going from book number 1 to book number 2, I had lots of like materials hanging around, and I felt like my space was a reflection of my brain. My space was chaos because my brain felt a bit chaotic and overwhelmed. I know a couple of years ago when I was in my 9-to-5 job, and whenever we would have, there was certain like parts of our season where we'd be really busy, we would have like peak times. And I just remember loving that when things calmed down and you had a couple of weeks where it wasn't as busy and you had that space to almost, I don't know, not recoup, but you were just given that mental space back. I feel like it's not good to be pushing in peak season all the time. We do, I think, get tired and burnt out. So as I am tidying up my space, I feel like I am trying to get a part of my house back. While I love having a home office, I last year was kind of feeling that I didn't have a good work-life balance. And when filming videos in my house and when I'm working from home as well, I want my home to feel like a home and not, just a house that's a backdrop for YouTube videos, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense or if I'm just waffling, but I feel like I'm trying to just rein in on some of the hobbies and the things I've collected along the way, craft machines and tools and supplies, because all of this stuff is pretty much I have bought to either do YouTube videos with this materials or I have used them in books and creating, but I want to take back a bit more of my space that's for my home. Okay, so I have one box for the charity shop, and so a couple of videos back I did organise my kitchen and I have managed to keep it clean. Just a few mugs over there, a few things at the sink, and a hive tool. I think I no longer feel absolute stress and overwhelm when I come into this room. I just lit a candle there. There is no bags of fabric in the corner. There's actually a bit of an echo in here. So no hidden things in the corners like there were before. And yeah, even this one here. So I managed to get pretty much everything into storage. Bjug and Bon are happy that the window is clutter free. I absolutely love the view in here, and one day I am hoping that this room will be part of the kitchen. And can you imagine big double doors here, Bjug? I know you're imagining it. Yeah, hashtag manifesting. Anyway, I went through all of the bins up here, so I managed to free them up if I need them for little bits. I went through most of these and I managed to, some of the craft machines I did actually put in the spare bedroom, but it's not too bad. I put it in the wardrobe that's there, but they're only taking up like 2 shelves. So paint supplies, sewing supplies, everything is in here. Managed to free up photography ones in here. There is nothing hidden in the corner. The toolbox that was here, I put in the kitchen on top of the washing machine in that little nook. So over here, I have all of the tools in, well, most of the tools, the ones that I use the most, nice and easy to get to, they're all in here. I won't tell you where I put my crowbar. Then in here, I managed to get sewing machines in here. Some more tools, but the ones that I don't use as much. And then down here, I actually just popped in, I had a bag of wax. I really like this basket and I don't want to give it to the charity shop because I might find something to, I don't know, Bjug might get in it. Bjug, get in the basket there and demonstrate how you would like to use it. I actually just put my camera in here, and I have a camera here. I have 2, and well, I actually have 3. I have a spare one, but I was going to put some shelves in here, and I think I still will, because down the line when I do want this to be like my kitchen, I'll be able to still keep a storage unit, but I still have some stuff that I need to put into like a shelf storage. So I still have 2 Cricut machines here. I have my printer over there. So they're fine for now. Realistically, this room isn't going to be turned into a kitchen in the next couple of weeks, so they're fine there. But I do have some more shelf space in here if that, not if, when that becomes an option where I need to have some extra storage space. That noise in the background is Mr. Bon having a poop in the litter box. So I made that lavender wreath last year. Do you remember? It's actually kept its colour, hasn't really shed much. And I just have that little mirror here as well, but I think this would be nicer in the hallway, and the one that's really big in the hall I think would be nice here. So let me stand back. Here is how it's looking versus what it looked like at the start of the video. And I absolutely love this view. And it's so nice when you come down in the morning and you come into the kitchen, because when you come down the stairs, that's kind of like the first thing you see, and then you go into the kitchen. So you can totally see why I would love to have this all one big open space. So yeah, that's something I'm thinking of. I also need to get a blind for here for the meantime. I'm thinking possibly a roller blind? No, a Roman blind. That's what I was thinking. A Roman blind. Could be a little DIY, just something maybe to give it a covering while it is here, or I could do a cafe style one, but I think a Roman blind would be nice here. Also have my little YouTube badge over here. don't really know what to do with that, but I just have my play button here. One day we'll get, I think you don't get a badge until 1 million subscribers, which is gold, is it? Who knows? But anyway, it is fresh. I am able to pop my laptop there. And the reason why I left that blanket as well is because sometimes, mostly in like autumn, winter time, I will do writing work from like 6:30, 7 in the morning till about 9 o'clock. And it does be a little chilly, even with like the heating on. So I always throw a blanket over me when I'm doing that kind of work, if I'm doing laptop work. So that's why I left the blanket. And who knows, Bjug might need it. She might need to be tucked in. As I was cleaning the office, I stumbled across a few copies of my new book that I have going spare. So I decided, let's do a secret giveaway. To avoid the scammers, I have to do secret giveaways. So if you would like to win a copy of my new book, head to my Instagram page. My handle is @daintydressdiaries. And I have a blue verified badge. Follow my Instagram page, then leave a book emoji in the comment section of the first pinned reel. On the page, you will see a picture of my book. You can comment under that with a book emoji. Only accounts that follow my Instagram can comment on my posts. If you get a message saying that your comment is restricted, just double check that you're following the page, as I have my settings to only followers can comment. I will pick the first winners on Thursday, the 11th of July, so next week. And then I will pick a winner at random later in the summer, so that's just to allow for anyone who maybe stumbles across this video later in the summer. You will only be contacted by my Instagram, which has the blue verified badge, and I will only ask you for your address details. I will never ever ask for any other information or ask for you to pay for postage or any other payment at all. Please be aware of scam accounts. You may have seen them on some of your favorite YouTube channels. There might be comments where they try and mimic the handle. I am not on apps like Telegram, I'm not on TikTok, and I never send people private messages. So please, please, please don't fall for anybody posing as me. I will never ask you for any money, etc. And I won't contact you privately either. Best of luck.